Welcome back, everyone, to the podcast second part. I am your host, Kritika.
And I am your host, Lovely.
We are your host from Connaissance Specialist. So we will begin the second part. Please, Lovely, ask your next question.
Definitely, Kritika. Thank you so much for taking it further. So, ma'am, our second question is if you had to share three practical steps schools can start implementing tomorrow to shift towards skill based assessment, what would those be?
Okay. So, yeah, having a very clear roadmap is definitely very important. That's something that I have kind of emphasized earlier as well. I would say that we need to have a two-pronged approach. It's very, very important that the steps being planned are at the leadership level and also at the teacher level. Okay, so I would talk about both here. And if I begin with, with the leadership team, I should say that we should ensure that we are planning very well. We say that if we are failing to plan, we are planning to fail then, right? So it's very, very important that the leaders sit down right in the beginning instead of planning some quick fixes of how they will fix things in the existing structure. They should plan the big picture very well. And when I say this, I mean that they should kind of trying to define what truly matters in terms of educational goals, skills and competencies for each subject. And here I'm once again emphasizing on the UVD approach that I have spoken about earlier. The second is that I would say that, okay, the leadership teams must measure what they are looking at, where they stand today, and where they want to reach. If this particular roadmap is ready, then nothing can stop you from reaching point one to point two. Okay, so it's very, very important that the decisions which are being taken are data driven in that perspective and they are making learning more visible. Okay, the third thing that I would definitely encourage is that these identified skills or competencies are not something which remain on paper, but are some things which are shared or discussed with the teachers during their periodic meets. You may call it as a curriculum workshop, or you may call it as a teacher and coordinator meeting. It's very, very important that the coordinators, or I should say the leadership team and the teachers are very well aligned on what is the goal and what's the way of reaching there. So, as far as the leadership team is concerned, these are the three things that I would definitely say. Very first is identifying and defining the goals, the competencies for each subject. Second is kind of defining a metric which will help you measure where you stand in it today and where you want to reach tomorrow, and something that you keep revisiting as well. And third is there's a sustained effort towards, kind of reinforcing that in the mind of the educator as well. If you do that as leadership team, you have kind of done sufficiently to take sufficient measures of ensuring that what you're proposing is very, very practical. It is something which is not only being spoken, but at the teacher level, how the skills and competencies that she is eventually expected to develop. She is, it should not be so that she's asking skill-based questions at the end of the unit, whereas she is plugging it while you are plugging these questions, different types of questions in daily, I would say that's the first thing that a teacher must do on a daily basis. So that change she must bring. Second is that she must ensure that when she's planning her units, she is planning at least one authentic performance based assessment. When I say a performance-based assessment, I mean an assessment where children are not going to only write a test. They will either solve a problem or they will carry out a series of steps to reach a particular goal. Okay. And in that process, they will demonstrate various skills which may be interdisciplinary, which may incorporate various, concepts and showcase their understanding as one whole. These are called as authentic performance-based tasks. You can read about it. Again, something which UBT talks about. So if they plan one such task, and I'm saying only one in a term, okay? Because I strongly believe that if we make it daunting for the teachers, they're not going to do it. Okay? So small steps in their daily teaching learning practices and class test, something which can be, a showcase and a highlight of the particular term in the form of performance test, authentic assessments, I would say. And third is something that the NEP and NCF is also talking about, doing assessment as learning as a periodic practice. And when I say assessment as learning, what I mean here is they're talking about holistic report cards, right? So when they say holistic report card, they're talking about involving all stakeholders in the process of evaluation. So this is also something that must be brought in as a concrete measure. There are so many. We were talking about how technology can be incorporated, how technology can be embedded in the practice. Over here, the teachers can use AI to, kind of create quick checklist for the students, self-evaluation checklist, which can be used for the child to rate his understanding of concepts which are covered, the skills which are mastered. At the same time, the peer also evaluates, and then the teacher and the parent, then maybe, So when you do this, you are kind of getting feedback on a periodic basis as well. You are very well integrating what is proposed by the boards and the national education policy as well in your daily practice. Okay, so these are the three measures that I would say for the teachers to revise. I would say the first one is she brings in this change in her daily teaching learning practice in the form of recap questions, probing questions, etc., so that there's a significant shift in the way children think, also in the way teachers are thinking for that matter. Okay. Second is that they perform or they plan at least one authentic performance task, performance-based task for the term, which can be a highlight and can be showcased before, parents as well. And third, that I'm saying is that they must work on the comprehensive report card that the schools or, NEP is talking about. Use technology to create checklists for the concepts covered and the skills, and make sure that you are having your students evaluate. Just dedicate one period for it. You will see a significant shift in the mindset of the students also. A lot of time it happens that, students see it as the responsibility of the teacher. My daughter also sometimes tells me, that this was not covered by the teacher, where I feel as if it was only the responsibility of the teacher, and not her responsibility. So there is a complete mindset shift where children start taking ownership of their learning. They start seeing very methodically where they stand. This is also called as metacognition, right? So this is something that I would really strongly recommend that educators must do. This doesn't require, what I'm proposing doesn't require a massive rehaul of what they are doing. What I'm proposing is only a very structured and a methodical approach towards what they are doing. A little more mindful approach and a shift in the way we are thinking and seeing assessments for that matter. So when we say reimagining assessments, we are talking about one clear goal, a clear roadmap to achieve it, and ensuring all the stakeholders are on board with that. That is what I would, suggest as a practical strategy for schools to implement in their classrooms.
Well, ma'am, those are such actionable takeaways. I can already imagine schools starting small and then gradually build a culture where skills are celebrated just as much as marks.
Thank you so much.
Exactly, exactly. So, all right, Miss Anita ma'am, before we wrap up, let's lighten up things with a quick rapid fire round, which is our most favorite part of the podcast. I'll give you two options, and you have to pick. Not only me, even Lovely will also give you only two options. So you just have to pick the one that resonate with you the most. No overthinkings, no
Sure.
explanation, just your first
Yeah,
instinct. Ready?
yeah, yeah.
Multiple choice questions or project-based assessments?
Project-based assessments.
All right, ma'am. So, times, exams, or continuous feedback, which would you like to?
Continuous feedback.
Individual tests or collaborative tasks?
Collaborative task.
One final exam or ongoing assessments?
Ongoing assessments. Anytime.
Grades or skill badges?
Sorry, come again.
Grades or skill badges?
Skill badges.
Teacher evaluation or peer plus self evaluation?
Peer plus self-evaluation.
One final exam or ongoing assessments?
The ongoing assessments.
Knowledge recall or application of concepts?
So application of concepts anytime.
Well, ma'am, that was it. You played really well.
Ma'am, ma'am, one more rapid fire. One more rapid fire.
Sure,
And
sure, sir. Yeah.
entertainment induced classes online or simple continuous knowledge dosage?
Entertainment induced. I would say entertainment which combines education with it. It should be engaging,
Yeah.
but
Yes,
entertaining at the
yes.
same time, sir, according to me.
Yeah. Can I ask one question if the anchor permit, if the time is there? Lovely ma'am or Kritika ma'am? Is the session on or should I keep my question for the last?
No, sir, you can ask your question.
Definitely, sir,
Um,
definitely. It's her honor.
Ma'am, thank you so much. Thank you, Rishi sir, and thank you, ma'am. I'm Professor Toshendra Dwivedi. I'm also part of inclusion committee of CBSE and part of team under Dr. Rishi Mishra. I'm working with Dr. Jan Cardozo, who has planned for the ramp for all the orthopedically and challenged student in the schools. So I'm one of
Oh,
the
wow.
signatories. So yes, yes, Expression India, Nagpal sir, and all we have worked. Ma'am, it was very, your energy level was really commendable. I find generally school teachers, giving a rote things, but you sound very innovative, very passionate. I mean, this energy, vision, and passion is something which I can, I became fan of. And
Thank you so
tomorrow
much, sir.
also, yeah, yeah. Tomorrow also, had I known you earlier, then I would have invited tomorrow in Radisson Blue, Gurgaon. I have a session on resilience for all 200 school principals. So
Mhm.
definitely I'll be in touch with you. Thank you, Rishi sir and Connaissance India for introducing me to such a dynamic person. Ma'am, coming to my question, ma'am, online education is fine, but we know there are three type of learners. One is kinesthetic, one is audio, and one is visual. So visual and auditory mode of learners can fast learn from this, but how to equally stimulate make at par that the mission, vision, and the knowledge is equally going at par to the kinesthetic oriented people who believe more by example or more by doing it. Looking
Oh,
forward to your
I'm glad that
submission.
you asked this question. This is something that I have kind of encountered a lot in my career. VAC, this is called VAC method of learning, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Something which kind of comes from Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. Something that I would like to draw your attention on, sir, is that when Howard Gardner spoke about multiple intelligences, he also spoke about the thing that, okay, while these are various learning styles, and maybe a dominant learning style of a particular learner, it is very, very important that we take, a lot of effort towards developing other learning modalities as well. And that is
Hmm.
where my answer lies. So, as you said, that engaging visual and auditory learners is very, very easy in online classrooms. Engaging kinesthetic learners becomes a little difficult, but something which is, and if I understand right, sir, you mean that, okay, the limitation is an online classroom, right? That's my understanding. Okay.
Yeah,
So
you
if
got
that
it
is a
right.
limitation, yeah. Okay. If that is a limitation, the least that I can do is have breakout rooms where I can engage them in discussions, in problem solving scenarios, and maybe give a little more concrete picture to the abstract discussion. So I am myself a kinesthetic learner, as I kind of realize when I reflect. And it's
Yes,
very,
your
very important
energy.
that I do things.
Yes, your energy level. I have seen that you are a predominantly kinesthetic oriented like me. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. So when I get an opportunity, to kind of break things down into concrete aspects, whether I can do it with my hand or not, when I can break things down in concrete steps, that also helps retention for me. It helps engagement big time. Okay, so kinesthetic is not only hands-on, it is also minds-on to a great extent, sir, for
Yeah,
that matter.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it does help in online platform, engaging them at least in discussions, problem-oriented task, which gives them an opportunity to participate and break things down into smaller bits.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. That was very insightful. And in fact, we are also designing something, letting them play some intellectual or game so that they do not feel online learning boring and all. So we are working on that
Yeah.
kind of a format. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your input and
Oh,
insight. I feel illuminated and educated.
thank you. Thank you.
So now it's time for our audience to ask some questions. Like, if you are getting this wonderful opportunity, please don't lose this valuable opportunity of asking questions to ma'am. Anyone from the audience would like to ask something to ma'am? Any
Uh,
questions?
Not a
Yes.
question, just an observation, which Professor Trivedi also highlighted, and I could also observe the depth in which you have covered the content was really marvelous, and specifically with your, it shows your level of commitment which you carry forward to your work also, because it speaks. So when you come from the heart, it speaks. That it's really an important thing. And many other points which you have raised, I truly gel with that thought, that the learning should actually be shown by its product, not merely by the uh, demarcation of numbers. Because, and that's why it's been seen that in the real life, when a good student who is good in academics, when that the student faces the real life, they think that it's a different kind of challenge which they cannot handle. So maybe it was
Yeah,
the skills of perseverance, and uh, the other important skills which
yes,
they could not develop during their academic period, and which for which the assessment, I'll say, it fails. So many a time we say
yes,
that so people are literate, they're not educated, because
mm.
if they would have been educated, they would have been liberated from their fears. That was
Very,
it.
very true,
Yeah,
Dr.
very
Rishmi.
Thank
true.
And
you.
Very true.
perseverance is
Very true.
yeah, very, very pertinent point here. Uh, as you said, that children in their real life scenario, they start feeling that, okay, I was doing very well academically, but somehow, I'm not able to fit in very well. That happens because we did not put them in situations which were a little uncomfortable sometimes.
Yes.
Situations where everybody will not think in the manner that I am thinking. So, how do I kind of, navigate my way? How do I negotiate? How do I kind
Mhm.
of adapt also and listen?
Yes.
These are some very, very important, aspects which help a child realize that life is not all about what I think or, it's my way. People have that attitude sometimes. It shows them that others also significantly add value and kind of grounds them with humility, humility and perseverance for that matter. So, very pertinent point made by you, sir.
To take it ahead in practical scenario, we are planning out so that students can have internships with members of parliament, with professors, and in fact, the whole program would be a professor-led profile building program in which we are
Mhm.
focusing specifically to expose them to the leadership segment. Like I'm talking with few Nobel laureates and members of
Mhm.
parliament, so that students can get connected with them. They can get those
Mhm.
certain values transferred to them in this whole process, and
Mhm.
the real thing starts as early as it should be. So it's a kind of vaccination
Mhm.
towards the outer society.
True. True. Yeah.
Anita ma'am, please stay tuned. We are soon, if God is wishing, under the leadership of Rishi sir and Connaissance, we are going to start a massive program for school teachers and students in Karnataka. It is by Karnataka government. So let's see.
Mhm.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. It will be pleasure and privilege being in touch with you and learning from you, ma'am.
Oh,
Thank you so much for
uh,
illuminating today.
thank you so much. Thank you so much for considering
Well,
me for
thank
that.
you so much, Mrs. Anita ma'am, for sharing such thoughtful insights. It's clear that reimagining assessment is not about changing tests, it's about reshaping the way we look at education together. So, before we wrap up, I want to share some very exciting with all the audience and to the respected faculties, those who have joined. Have you ever wondered how students can go beyond textbooks and truly stand out? That's where Connaissance Specialist comes in with its professor-led building program. So students will get on real research projects with university professors, explore explosive internship as Sir was also elaborating each one of us, and even dive into the special modules like legal education. So along with volunteering, extracurriculars, and personal branding, it's all about shaping confident future ready leaders, because this is just not a profile building for admissions. It's about creating a strong personal identity that shines globally. Stay connected with Connaissance Specialist and give your child the edge they deserve. To all our listeners, I hope this conversation inspires you to think beyond marks and see learning as a journey of skill building. Until next time, this is lovely and my really special friend Kritika signing off. Stay curious and keep learning. And here also would like to introduce VIBGYOR because this is the sister organization of Connaissance Specialist only. And we also the respective faculty professor, thanks to Professor Dr. Tosendra Dwivedi sir, Dr. Rishi Mishra sir, and Kanchan ma'am as well, because by your joining only, this session has really get enlightened and has really become a very meaningful and special full session to all the lovely audience. And very humbly heartfelt thanks to Dr. Professor Tosendra Dwivedi sir, Dr. Rishi Mishra sir, and Anita ma'am. And to my dear friend Kritika as well, thank you so much for joining in with me with this journey. So this is lovely and Kritika signing off from this
We are
program. Thank
signing
you.
off. We are signing off. Until next time, keep learning, keep innovating, and keep shining.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you so
all.
much,
Bye. And
Thank you
everyone.
thanks
so
for the
much, everyone.
opportunity.